Hey YouTube, Eagle Run 23 here. Well, it seems like I have a topic to discuss and I don't have um, anything specific to go along with it as far as like showing you. And so what I've been doing is just kind of sharpening some knives as we go across here. Not really doing tutorials. I have a ton of knife tutorials on my channel, a lot of it with the Tech Studios profile, but we're going to be doing some more freehand stuff. So more on that as we go. Just so that you know, I have a 1000 here whetstone and I'm just wetting it. This is nice when you're just doing one or two knives and you don't want to get your buckets out. Let's talk about something that I heard somebody say the other day, and I've heard this before and it just drives me crazy. There is this prepper fantasy, and gosh, maybe we should define some of these terms, but I don't want to get bogged down on this. There's this prepper fantasy where that you could like live off the grid, that you would just sell everything and make it all work, growing your own vegetables and owning a couple of goats or something. I say it's a fantasy because while our ancestors were perfectly capable of living off the grid, they possessed a large amount of skills that we don't possess today. And I just think it's funny that people who are either having a hard time or a different aspect of their life is failing. I'm not talking trash on anyone here. I'm just saying something's not going well for them, and their solution is that they're just going to live off the grid. The type of person that actually possesses the skills to live off the land, and they have the knowledge in order to do that, most of them have procured that knowledge in a very different way than someone who's just working at an office and they hate their boss and they're going to sell everything and go live off the land. If this is a fantasy of yours, you need to start right now growing some tomatoes and some peppers and get your gardening skills going in the right direction. Maybe you need to get some chickens if you can have them in your apartment, or if you've got some land and you can get a goat, or maybe even just a dog. Some people need to be able to take care of just a really basic animal. And I'm a Texas master gardener, and one of the things about the gardening friends that I have is that all of them that are producing large quantity, high quality fruits and vegetables to where we're making enough to give it away to friends and family and neighbors. All of those people have the resources and the time, the money to just buy their own fruit and vegetables. And so there's no pressure on them to produce that food, and they're producing at a high volume. So it kind of makes you wonder if they were to transplant that to the countryside and live a prepper fantasy growing their own vegetables, would they actually be able to perform at the high level that they are in suburbia or whatever, and versus out on their own where their lives depend on it? Because failing when it's in your backyard and you're not depending on it is entirely different than failing when you're on your own. So these people are, rich enough to be able to pay someone to help them move dirt, deliver fertilizer and mulch. They have enough money to have someone dig new flower beds and new garden beds and build trellises and haul this stuff around. They're rich enough to be able to do that. And they're also old enough to have the knowledge and to learn what it takes to actually do those things. And to say that, oh, come SHTF, I'm going to be just fine, that's a fantasy. You're not going to be able to hunt enough deer to feed your family because you're going to be doing 1,000 other things. And that whole live off the land, fish, hunt, you need to go do that on the weekends, because I don't think that that's actually how that anything is going to transpire. There's going to be way more chaos in that, and this slow burn collapse that is most likely going to happen is going to be tough for many of us. It's going to be tough for all of us. So one of the other things on this topic that really kind of drives me crazy, and again, I'm in this category, so I'm talking to myself here too, but I want to caution myself to not say, hey, I'm failing at my current situation, and there's going to be some sort of societal reset. And in that scenario, I've got enough bullets and beans and whatever else that I'm going to be successful in this environment. See how these two worlds, I'm failing here, but in my mind, I'm living in this alternate reality where I'm stockpiling food and whatever, got extra bullets, and when things collapse, I'm gonna be a king. Don't be that person. We need to be successful, and no matter what we do. And this life is actually kind of going to be way easier than the one over here where you're, hunting and fishing for your next meal. Maybe you have come across some of these things that drive you nuts about preppers. I'd love to hear about them. Also, am I way wrong on this? Am I thinking that things are going to be one way and they're going to be another way? Tell me I'm wrong as well. I'd love to discuss this with you. Let's check and make sure that this guy is sharp before we're done here. That's not great, but that'll do. We were just kind of touching it up there. All right, so we're going to finish this by saying, while you have a job, hop out and plant some tomatoes. Go take a class. Go introduce yourself to a farmer and go volunteer on his property. Go do something to increase your skill and your knowledge, and get out of the fantasy world. All right, Eagle Run 23. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.